Most people laugh at clowns with their bright colors, their painted smiles, and their silly costumes. But there's a reason why some of us fear them. Because a clown removes the one thing that lets us trust a face, whether the smile is real. Somewhere under that paint, someone could be crying. Or someone could be watching you. Watching the way a predator watches its prey. Eli never used to fear clowns. He didn't love them, but they didn't bother him. Until one night, when he was 10 years old, his mother took him to a local carnival. There were sticky lights and laughter drifting in the cold air. Everything felt normal, except the clown at the balloon stand. He didn't move. He just stared at Eli with two wide, painted eyes and a grin that looked too tight and too permanent. Eli waved shyly at the clown. The clown didn't wave back. He only lifted one long, white-gloved finger, and he pointed directly at Eli. For years, Eli convinced himself that he imagined it. That's easier than believing a stranger marked you. Eli grew up and he moved to a new city and a new life. But the fear stayed. It was a quiet, irrational ache beneath his skin. He avoided circuses. He avoided parades. He avoided anything with painted faces. Then one night, walking home from work, he saw something impossible. It was a balloon. It was red, and it was floating at eye level, tied to the handle of his apartment gate. Attached to the balloon was a small card. It was a card with a smudged smiley face, and under it, it read, "Hello, Eli." There was no signature, and there was no explanation. His mind flooded with the memory of that carnival clown. He told himself it was just a prank. Someone had to know him. Someone had to be messing with him. But fear rarely listens to reason. Throughout the next week, Eli felt watched. Not constantly, just enough for his nerves to twitch when he turned around corners. Then, the footprints appeared. They were painted, red and oversized, like novelty clown shoes dipped in bright pigment, leading from the sidewalk straight to the entrance of his apartment building. Everyone else walked past them without noticing. No one reacted. No one commented. It was like the prints were for Eli alone, and only Eli could see them. That night, lying in bed, Eli heard the faint squeeze of a rubber horn coming from his hallway. There was one short honk, and it was close. It was just too close. He set up a camera in the hallway the next night. He needed proof, either that the fear was real or that he was losing his mind. At 3:12 a.m., the camera picked up motion. A figure stepped into the frame. It was tall and thin, and its head tilted. Its face was painted white. The smile stretched too far and too high, like the skin had been pulled upward and pinned there. The clown lifted a balloon, pressed it gently against Eli's door, then leaned close enough that its painted grin filled the entire camera frame. The clown whispered something, but there was no audio in the file, just the shape of the word forming on its lips. Eli could make out the word soon. Eli called the police, and they came and they checked the hallway and they checked the building cameras and they found nothing. There was no footage of a person dressed in a clown costume. Absolutely no traces of a clown. Not even the balloon remained. So the police told Eli maybe he just had a bad dream, or maybe he was having a little bit of too much stress and he should try to de-stress. But Eli knew what he saw. That night, he barricaded the door. He even shoved a chair under the knob of the door. But sometime after midnight, he woke to soft knocking. It was slow and rhythmic. It was 3 taps and then a pause. And then there was the soft honk from a rubber horn. Eli froze. The knocking returned. But this time it wasn't coming from the hallway. It was coming from his bedroom closet. Eli forced himself to move quietly, step by step, toward the closet. His breath shook and his fingers trembled. The knocking stopped the moment he touched the door. Then there was silence. It was heavy and expectant. Then, from the other side of the closet door, there was a voice, soft, strained, and smiling even through sound. It said, "You grew up, Eli, but I never left." The door creaked open by itself, just an inch, enough to reveal a sliver of white paint and a red grin. It was pressed against the darkness like it had been waiting for years. The clown didn't leap out, it didn't attack, and it didn't scream. It only whispered, "You waved at me first." Eli dropped the camera. He dropped everything because the truth hit him as the closet door slowly swung wider. The clown wasn't stalking him. It had been there all along, somewhere behind the walls, behind the pipes, behind the dark places of his childhood memories. And it was smiling, waiting for him to remember. So I hope you've enjoyed this tale based on fear and phobia. If you enjoy this type of content, check out the rest of our channel. Everything's based on fear and phobias. And hit that like button. And check out these next videos.